Hello. What do you think the daily life of a soldier in Gallipoli was like? I'll try to give you a taste of it before you go to sleep today. Good night, sleeper. If I were a soldier at the Battle of Gallipoli, my day wouldn't begin with sunlight. It would begin long before the sky even thought about turning blue. Morning on this battlefield is not a moment of peace. It is simply the hour when darkness becomes a different shade, a reminder that you somehow survived another night. I would open my eyes to the cold touch of damp soil. My uniform would be stiff with frost, my breath turning into pale mist in the heavy trench air. And before I even lift my head, I would hear it. The deep, distant rumble of artillery, like the world growling in pain. This is how my day would begin. If I were a soldier at Gallipoli, Part 1, Waking in the Trenches. The first thing I'd feel is the mud clinging to my clothes. Thick, heavy, unforgiving. It never dries. It never lets go. Rats would scurry across the wooden planks behind me, and men, boys, really, would shift uncomfortably, trying to find warmth where none exists. I'd sit up slowly, stretching legs that ache from constant marching, and nights spent sleeping on the hard earth. My helmet would be cold, my hands would be numb, my face covered in dust and dried sweat. But I would still whisper to myself, I'm alive, and that alone is enough to stand. Part 2, the morning routine. A soldier's morning is not about comfort. It's about survival. The first task would be checking my rifle. Scrape off the mud, clear the barrel, count the bullets, touch each one, pray they stay dry. A wet bullet means a dead soldier. Breakfast would be nothing more than a few hard biscuits and a mouthful of water that tastes like iron. But we would eat anyway, because hunger is another enemy in this place. We speak little in the mornings. Words feel heavy. Every thought is spent on the same question. Will today be the day? Someone forces a smile. Another makes a joke, because sometimes a joke is the only thing keeping fear from taking over. The waiting. There's an art to waiting in war. It is a discipline, a quiet battle fought inside the mind. The enemy is close enough that we can hear them sometimes. Voices carried by the wind, metal clinking against metal, the soft thud of boots on dirt. Every sound makes your heart strike harder inside your chest. We don't know when the next attack will come, but we know it will. So we wait, alert, silent, breathing slowly, trying not to imagine what might happen next. Waiting is the hardest part of the day, because imagination is far more terrifying than reality. Part 4, Letters from Home. When fear becomes too loud, I reach for the one thing that softens it. My letter, folded 100 times, edges torn, words fading, a mother's handwriting, a lover's smile pressed between paper, a child's drawing of a sun that seems brighter than any sun I've seen here. I read the same line again and again, not because I forget, but because it holds me together. For a moment, the trench, the mud, the cold, all disappear. I remember who I was before the war, before the uniform, before the rifle, and for a brief heartbeat, I remember why I want to survive this day. Part 5, Noon Brings Fire. Around midday, the silence breaks. Not gradually, but violently. Shells begin to fall. The sky erupts with fire. The ground shakes under my feet. I drop behind a sandbag wall as dirt rains down like a storm. Explosions carve the earth around us, sending shock waves through the trench. Men shout orders. Others scream names. A shell lands close. The world flashes white. My ears ring. I feel the force in my chest. When the smoke clears, I see a friend lying on the ground, blood mixing with the dust. We call for the medic. We pull him to safety. We press our hands over the wound, hoping, praying, begging that he survives. Artillery is the cruelest part of war. Because you never see your enemy, only the death they send. Minute after minute, blast after blast, we endure. When it finally stops, the silence feels wrong. Too empty, too heavy. We count the men. Not all of them answer. Part 6, after the smoke clears. We bury those we lost. Quickly, quietly. There is no time for ceremony. Only time to remember faces we won't see again. Then we repair the trenches, stack new sandbags, patch the holes burned by explosions. War does not pause. War does not apologize. We continue because we must. Because stopping would mean giving up everything we have already sacrificed. As the sun begins to set, a strange calm washes over the battlefield. Not peace, just exhaustion. A day in Gallipoli is long. It feels like a lifetime. But somehow, we keep going. Ending night in Gallipoli. Night falls quickly. Cold returns. Darkness envelopes everything. I lie back in the trench, rifle against my chest, eyes half open. Above me, the sky is filled.